Remember the Chrysler Alpine, car of the year 1976? What, you don't? Well, in that case, you really ought to get out less.
It rusted and sounded like a bag of nails, but it was an early example of a big European hatchback of the sort Ford and Vauxhall still sell, but until recently premium makes like Audi and BMW avoided. Now Audi has the A5, and BMW is launching the 3 Series GT, which it's plugging as a 5-door coupe. Slotting between the 3 Series saloon and touring estate, the GT actually has more rear passenger and luggage space than the touring. Inside it's very user-friendly, with clever storage ideas, rather hard rear seats that recline, and yes, an impressive amount of room for people and their stuff. The styling is chunky rather than beautiful, but unlike the bigger 5 Series GT, this car doesn't look like a bread van that's been sat on by an elephant. We drove a 318 Gran Turismo Sport Diesel. BMW reckon it should return a combined 58.9 miles a gallon. We got a still good 42. It pumps out an excellent 119 grams of CO2 per kilometre and gets to 62 in 9.7 seconds and is capable of 130 miles an hour.
The GT has a typical BMW feel, from the quality of the plastics in the interior to the gear shift, which is ever so slightly notchy but works well enough. In this case it's a 6-speed manual. Oh, so there's also an 8-speed automatic. The handling is typically BMW as well. The steering is light, taut and very direct, and the car goes where you point it. It doesn't roll a lot, and it's actually a pleasure to drive. The ride is firm, and there are 4 different settings, 2 sporting ones, and if you use either of those on poor surfaces, the thing becomes almost uncomfortable. In fact, the comfort setting, I guess, is the one that most people will use.
Mind you, the GT is between £1,300 and £1,600 more expensive, model for model, than the equivalent touring. Our test car would cost almost 31 grand, and it had another 11k's worth of options, like leather seats and this clever head-up display. You could probably buy the world's population of surviving Chrysler Alpines for that, but only if you were very weird. Overall, the 3 Series GT is more than a saloon with a tailgate grafted onto the back, but it is expensive, and its image is a bit uncertain. Although call it a hatchback in front of a BMW person, and they'll come out in a rash.